All right. Okay. Hello. Welcome to explore the meaning of touch in relationships. I am Ansku Jaakkola, and I have been a pastor for over 30 years, wife of one husband and mother of two daughters. And as a pastor, I'm the general practitioner kind, doing anything everywhere and, all kinds of things, but special interest in youth, couples, interreligious dialogue, and building healthy and safe communities. I am a couples in crisis counselor also, and I have prepared material for premarital counseling in our church in Finland. Currently, I am on leave from my pastoral work, and I'm caring for my elderly parents in my childhood home. So I have a little bit different situation at the moment going on. Next one, please. This material has been prepared by a Finnish, originally Lutheran-based relationships and family Parisuhdekeskus Kataja, and they have trained me as a couples in crisis counselor. And they have prepared this kind of lecture series, easy access, low-key, practical information for couples. And if you've gone through the training, then you are allowed to use it, and with your own twist, of course. So I have added something that I thought was important. And also EU has offered some funds to the application of these materials. Next, please. So, touch, igniting the spark. Today we're discussing touch and sexual intimacy. We're talking about various kinds of touch and sexual spark, fire, glow, what ignites it. Also, the challenge, what extinguishes the spark, and so the easy and the more difficult parts. Everyday affection, touch, and sex are glue for many in relationships, and those things are worthy to be nurtured. Next one, please. The key points today are sufficiently fulfilling sexual intimacy, many expressions of a loving touch, nurturing sexual glow, and what extinguishes sexual spark and vitality from touch. Touch and sexual pleasure or sexual intimacy are about pleasure, enjoyment, sense of well-being, fulfillment, fun. Sexual desire is very powerful, and for many it is fulfillment. Sexual fulfillment is some of the best life has to offer here on this earth. Next one, please.
Nu traduce nimeni.
Sexuality in marriage often comes with utopian expectations, which can lead to undervaluing of sexual intimacy in one's own relationship. So this definition is an essential part of this lecture. Sufficiently fulfilling sexual intimacy. What is adequate? From time to time, I receive what I need or long for, so I cope with the situations when I do not receive what I need and long for. Of course, it's the partners themselves who define what is adequate for them both, what kind of sexual intimacy and desires, and how much each desires. So if a sexual intimacy in the relationship consistently feels unsatisfactory for one or both of the partners, it is important to seek changes together. Next, please. The skin is hungry, and that hunger can only be met through touch. Touch is really nourishment for us, without which we do not grow and develop as babies and as children. Touch is vital from cradle to the grave, though individual needs obviously vary. So God has made us embodied beings. The skin is the largest organ by God's design. The warmth of skin, the scent, the texture hold allure and attraction for us, and it is an invitation to come close. Next one, please. There are many health benefits in touch. We know about babies and children. They don't grow if they don't get if they are not touched and cared for. But adults too, and you can Google lots of different studies of actual health benefits, lowering blood pressure and whatever. And I remember reading somewhere that for a hug to have health benefit, maybe was it 20 seconds long? I didn't find the reference now, but anyhow, I have decided myself that my goal is to hug my parents for 20 seconds. So when I touch them, hug them, or go and stroke them and be close to them, I count 1, 2, 3, 4. So I stay there long enough. So that's the challenge I have given myself, and it's pretty actually difficult to do it because I have so much to do and go there and do this. So, but I'm trying. Next one, please. So, next one, please, Karen. Oh, okay, there. So caring and loving touch takes on many forms in a relationship. The following slides will illustrate the examples. So it's greetings and goodbyes. Hugs and kisses when leaving and returning home are valuable daily rituals for saying, I hope you have a great day. I'm so glad to see you. You are important to me. There are simple ways of saying to our partners, I see you, I care about you. You are everything to me. Evening and morning kisses, hugs, spooning, intertwined legs, holding hands, simply being near to each other, this warm skin, create recurring opportunities for connection. Evenings, nights, and mornings are possibilities to nurture connection and intimacy in our relationships. And this topic is worth discussing with our partners, how to do this part well. Next one, please. Then there's pampering touch. It's about wanting to give your partner, this extra feel-good factor. Washing their hair or the back, massaging the feet, whatever it is. Do you know what kind of pampering touch your partner enjoys? Caring touch emphasizes nurture and care. It is motherly or fatherly by nature. Dry skin needs applying lotion, bandaging a wound, stroking an aching forehead, warming cold feet, etc. Next one, please. Then encouraging touch is about support and encouragement. It could be a gentle pat on a shoulder, a supportive hug, a more energetic power hug or high five to celebrate success. I remember a very difficult situation in which I had to be in charge. And my husband walked by and he just, tapped my hand on my shoulder. And it felt so good. And I remember it. And that's the touch that I really remember. And I tell everyone how good it felt. Comforting, soothing touch expresses sympathy, support in times of distress. Might include hugging, stroking partner's head or back, gentle touch on the cheek, or wiping away a tear. Next one, please. Resting together, close to each other, is a sign of trust and intimacy. You don't do it with anybody, do you? So after a tiring day, curling up in your partner's arms can be one of the most rejuvenating experiences, a highlight, actually. Next one, please. Then there's teasing, playful touch. You know, some inside humor often includes some playful goodwill touches, and these may ignite sexual spark and attraction. Flirtatious, spark-filled touch is even more sexual. It's about sexual attention. It is hinting and suggesting desire, squeezing of buttocks, pulling your partner close, kissing the neck, or nibble the ear or something. Arousing erotic touch is about really creating sexual desire. It often focuses on the erogenous zones like buttocks, breasts, and genitals. All of these are very personal experiences. You know, what is teasing and playful touch to you and your partner? How about flirting or erotic? If you do not know, find out and talk about it. Okay, next one, please. So for reflection, let's pause for a little moment to reflect either individually or with your partner. What thoughts did these different types of touch evoke in you? Let's take a minute. Next, please. Nurture a sexual glow. How to nurture it? How to make it as hot as a pizza oven is? Next one, please. Different types of touch keep the path open to sexual spark. Sexually charged touch is one part of many forms of touch. When other kinds of touch is also nurtured, it becomes easier to express and to accept sexual touch that carries a sexual spark. Maintaining connection through many kinds of touch lowers the threshold for initiating sexual touch and increases trust. It keeps the path open to sexual spark. Unbalanced touch makes intimacy difficult. If flirty touch is the only form of contact in a relationship, it often irritates the recipient. It feels as if there is only interest in sex without regard to the personhood. Then it's easy to feel used. When partner's touch does not include any sexual invitation, it can lead to feelings of hurt and insecurity about one's attractiveness, especially when longing for sexual touch has been expressed. Next one, please. Emotional intimacy increases sexual glow. We talked about emotions 2 months ago, was it? Intimate emotional intimacy and connection and sexual expression are part of the same continuum. Emotional intimacy between partners enables smooth and uncomplicated sexual intimacy. When you feel emotionally and mentally connected, or maybe also spiritually connected, sexual intimacy naturally flows. Interaction shifts from words to touch. So which comes first? For some, sexual intimacy warms them up for talking about emotions, and the partner feels especially close after lovemaking. For others, verbal emotional connection is something they need before physical intimacy. Often these two types are married to each other. So it is important to respect both equally and not always follow the same pattern. Both deep emotional intimacy and sufficient sexual intimacy nourish us on a very deep level. And it makes us experience a warm glow within. It makes us energetic, our eyes sparkle, we feel light, it's easy to smile. And when we talk about intimacy, it means something very private, personal. Sexual intimacy is, for probably most of us, very private and personal, part of our relationships. Sharing deepest emotions is another deeply intimate part of the relationship. So they are very much connected. Next one, please. Constructively handled conflict increases intimacy. There's a link between how we handle conflicts and fostering sexual intimacy. Conflicts are inevitable. We all have them. And when resolved in a constructive, respectful way, they bring us actually closer. The sparks of anger during the disagreement can touch other deep and perhaps painful feelings. But when a mutually satisfying solution is found, it creates feelings to the other direction, often igniting sexual desire. So if post-conflict interaction continues as sexual closeness, it is often very deeply satisfying. The energy in the conflict is turned into sexual energy. Make-up sex is good. It's good to remember, though, that it is different from sex that is just avoiding the conflict and difficult emotions. Next one, please. In our relationships, it is important to communicate in our everyday lives how important our spouses are to us. It creates a positive atmosphere for touch and sexual encounters. Express your love and care in a way that your partner understands, that makes them feel really loved. So using the channel that your partner is most tuned into is very helpful. The concept of love languages has been used to help us figure out how to better love each other. there are so many different ways to express love, but it's good to remember that what makes you feel especially loved is probably not the same for your partner. So let's keep talking and find out. And let's communicate to our partners that you are my chosen one. You are the one I want to be with. You are important to me. So next one, please. So what ignites your partner? Do you know? Some are sexually aroused by something exciting they see. Other is ignited by something they hear, or some by touch or by sense. Which sense is important to you in this regard? And how about your partner? These also change, so let's stay updated. Next one, please. So make sure the sheets are moving. A man who was attending one of these lectures told the speaker afterwards that in the countryside where he lives, there's this man, a village man, who has the habit of asking the other men when he meets them, are the sheets moving at home? Is the blanket moving? And if they are, he says, well, then everything is all right. That was his way of caring for the well-being of his friends. Sexual intimacy is an important indicator of overall health of the relationship. However, the blanket can move in many different ways and without intercourse. There are many ways of having sexual closeness, flirtation, and dynamic. Sometimes sexual intimacy disappears altogether due to, for example, busy periods of life. Maybe there's babies around, or illness, or whatever. And restarting can be challenging. Both may be hesitant to make the first move, and there can be pressure to succeed. So sometimes maintaining a sexual connection can be a deliberate intellectual choice, even if the spark is not so strong. This helps to sustain and support each other through difficult times. So we can practice an attitude of closeness. And next one, please. And let's take a moment to reflect. What keeps the path open to sexual intimacy for you? What is really important for you? Let's go to the next one. Extinguishing the spark. The perspective now changes to challenges in sexual intimacy. Next one, please. When there's smoke in the relationship, The flame of sexuality needs oxygen. You know, and if there's smoke, it's hard to breathe. It's not doing well. You have to get out, right? To breathe. So smoke in the relationship could mean that there's poor ventilation and not enough oxygen, lack of space in the relationship, demands, pressure, attempts to change the partner, leave no room to breathe and to be oneself, and oxygen runs out. And then there's not so much room for sexual expression. Smoke in the relationship could also mean that there's like thunder in the air. It's hard to have a fire started when there's low pressure area. Personal irritability, stress, being worried all the time, create tension in the atmosphere. So if conflicts are ignored and they just kind of float around unresolved, feelings of disappointment and hurt often surface as a bickering, sulking, martyr-like behavior. The atmosphere changes and it becomes difficult to be sexually ignited. It is difficult to surrender, to be present for each other. One reason for the smoke in the relationship could be wet wood. Fire does not start or will quickly die if the wood is wet. If conflicts are dealt with in a damaging way, then the atmosphere is full of smoke. If you have received a cold shower of hurting words, it takes time for the wood to dry. Sun and wind help. In a relationship, that means talking, asking for forgiveness, expressing warmth, expressing care. For every hurtful word, multiple positive words are needed. Sometimes there's just water put on the fire, and sexual readiness can vanish in an instant due to a single wrong word, harsh glance, one more household chore, falling asleep on the couch. In the area of personal vulnerability, we interpret even small things as rejection. And sometimes the other wood is burning and the other one is not. Unresolved personal trauma or past experiences may inhibit one's ability to warm up. And when a partner comes too close to the painful thing, distancing is a way of protecting oneself. And also sometimes the smoke is because there's just very different needs that the partners have. Next one, please. So for reflection, let's pause for a moment. What did you recognize as familiar in the topic smoke in the relationship? And how are your needs similar in relationship to the amount and type of sexual intimacy? Pressure to perform. Performance pressure creates stress that extinguishes sexual spark. Pressure to perform in the bedroom may stem from various sources, especially from media-driven ideals. So are we meeting the averages? Is there something wrong with me, you, or us? Porn and pornified view of sex makes it difficult to find your own sexual expression and creates a lot of pressure. Pressure can also come from the partner. Partners may even unintentionally create pressure by expressing strong expectations or desires, or even by criticizing. And constructively expressed wishes can also grow into overwhelming pressure in one's mind. Then there are self-imposed pressures. The desire to please one's partner can become an internal demand, even if the partner is content. And concerns about one's sexual skills may lead to feelings of inadequacy. I'm not enough. And this kind of stress and anxiety extinguishes the spark, making it very difficult to be sexually aroused. And I don't know if you see that, but this is a knot. It can, become a knot. Next one, please. Obligation sex is also a big pressure. Duty sex is not sexy at all. And when sex is an obligation to be performed, it destroys sex for the one who feels it, and eventually also for the other one. Obligation sex is experienced as trauma and has the effect of rape in the long run, because it really kind of is, if your choice is taken away. The obligation can come from society around us. You have to be really willing all the time, and you have to be this and that. It can come from toxic religious teaching. It can come from the partner, or it can come from myself. In all of its forms, it's destructive and harmful. For a woman, and I would assume if a man experiences it, for him too, it kills libido and really can make a woman impotent. Obligation sex has nothing to do with God's will for us and for our marriages. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Next one, please. Often, sexual spark is hidden behind physical and mental exhaustion. So caring for sexual intimacy involves taking care of personal well-being, such as rest and relaxation. Sometimes it's hard to do, isn't it? But there are times when our bodies just have become lazy. Sometimes when you kind of explore with couples, reasons for the lack of sexual intimacy, it's not anything more but just one or both may have just grown to like the comfort of physical inactivity too much. Just become lazy. Our minds and bodies have become passive. Going outside and doing something physical may well activate the sexual spark too. Then there could be dissatisfaction with one's or the partner's body. The way we look at ourselves in the mirror impacts the sense of attractiveness. Also, the way we perceive our partner's gaze either strengthens or weakens our confidence. Another matter is addiction. In addiction, something becomes more important than our loved ones. Not in theory, but in practice. Something is more important than our partner and our relationship. So even without actually knowing about it, your partner's body will know that something is wrong. The body can tell. Especially pornography kills actual intimacy and sex. Because there's something comes in between and hinders closeness. Next one, please. Difficult feelings. So all these difficulties that we have mentioned and all these challenges, they affect our emotional lives. Unpleasant and difficult emotions are evoked. How do I deal with fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, being capable enough, all the insecurity, the shame, feelings of hurt, the frustration, disappointment, and not being safe? And these feelings, they are familiar to us. They are universal and common in relationships, particularly concerning sexuality. But despite feeling paralyzed and disconnected, there is hope. So let's not give up. Next one, please. Often when there are difficult emotions, we end up being in bed by our backs towards each other. Both feel terrible. The distance seems so long. Talking too difficult. But what if you just reached out your hand? This movement of about 20 centimeters may feel so far, so impossible, but the effect can be profound. It communicates, I care. I want to be connected. It's hard, but we are in this together. I haven't given up hope. And next one, please. Mutual respect for each other's needs is the starting line for dealing with difficult issues. Each partner's needs and desires are inherently worthy of respect. And if I criticize the other person's needs, I am criticizing their identity, the core of their being. We can be critical about behaviors, but not the needs. Needs are not the same as behaviors that arise from difficult emotions. It is important to discuss how each other's actions affect and hurt the other one. And changing them is about caring for the common good, is caring about us. We are both on the same side. Challenges affect both, and they are faced together. It is a quest for both of us to search for richer sexual intimacy. Adopting a mindset of collaboration instead of opposition helps us to solve things. And this shift is primarily a choice of the will. Next one, please. Let's pause for a moment to reflect what things that extinguish sexual spark felt familiar to you. Karen, you can turn the next slide on.
Sorry, but we do not hear anything right now, Ansku.
Yes. Where am I?
Yes. It's the last slide.
I lost the whole Zoom. You hear my voice?
We can see you.
Now, yes.
You can see me? I
Yes.
can't see you. This is odd.
We can see you.
You can see me?
Yeah, you're standing, but I cannot see your face.
Yes.
That's-
Okay.
Now we are.
I can't see the Zoom, but you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. What was the last thing you heard?
We have had the picture with the car. And
Okay, the car, long lost spark. All right.
yeah, and then now we have the picture vitality from sexual intimacy.
Okay, let's go back to the car. Let's go back to the car.
Okay, here's the car.
Yes. So this text was found on an online forum discussing cars. And let the determination shown there in finding a lost spark describe our attitude and willingness to work diligently to find the lost spark in order to rekindle sexual intimacy in our relationship. Okay, and the next one, please. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Vitality from sexuality. So what does healthy sexual intimacy bring? Fun, wholesome pleasure, body emotions, senses, experience of love, relaxation, stress relieves, sex relieves stress, satisfying our bodies and our skin's hunger to be touched, cherished, and cared for, energy boost, improving mood, strengthening the sense of togetherness and happiness, and reinforcing the sense of security and continuity in the relationships. We are important to each other as a couple. Next one, please. And I would like to add this definition of great sex that I have adapted from Emily Nagoski. Sexual intimacy gives vitality when both are glad to be there, are free to leave at any time without unwanted consequences, have no pain, and experience pleasure. And next one, please. The key points. Let's remind ourselves of the key points that we have covered, and we'll just go through. Karen, you can just go the next slides. and we'll look at them and try to remind ourselves what we have learned. Since now I can't see anything, tell me when we are in slide 42.
The slide that we have is just there are many forms and nuances of loving touch. And now
Okay,
we have
yep. And
the
then
example.
nurturing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there's the picture with two nurturing the glow.
Yes. Come to the home assignment. All right, there's a home assignment for you. Write or talk. But you can write, sometimes it's good to just think first by yourself to your partner about your thoughts and feelings regarding your sexual intimacy, using phrases such as, I like it when you, I enjoyed when we, I wish that way. And the next slide has some useful resources. There's much more, but these I have found meaningful and biblical and also evidence-based, which is very important. And you can take a picture of that, or we can send it to you later if you like.
Mhm.
And then we'll say thank you for your attention and sorry for the connection mishap.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, open the floor for conversation.